Good evening. Starting with the disclaimer, I am not a financial advisor. Nothing in this video is financial advice or recommendation to buy or sell any financial product. All content is for informational purposes only based on personal opinions and experiences. Trading futures, options, and other financial instruments involves substantial risk of loss and is not suitable for every investor. You can lose more than your initial investment, so always do your own research and consult with a licensed financial professional. Okay, so moving on, here's the charts. Actually, one sec. So it's a bit later, it's almost 8. I'm basically about done for the day here, ready to go to bed. But you can see, like, I've already updated everything for the night. This mag zone is kind of, the color is a bit too bright for me. It's distracting. But anyway, um, yeah, so here's the day. If I show the trades, I had 2 trades today. Both were scalps. Both were in the morning, as I only really trade the 9 a.m. to the 11 a.m. Eastern. So we'll focus on this section of the day because this is the only action I was really watching to actively trade. So you can see we opened. We're pretty balanced overall. If I get my pen out. Yeah, so we came up, like we said in plans. If you did end up watching the plan video this morning, I mentioned that you can't see it because of the magnet zone, but there's an MCV right here at 99. And so I mentioned that was going to be an important area to test, and we potentially could get choppy in it because the MCV was right here. And the 5-day VPOC was right here. And so we did end up opening in a bit of a larger gap than I had thought in my plans. Like, we opened at about a 30-tick gap almost, or, something or other around there. 20-tick gap. Which was a bit of a surprise to me when I was doing my plans at like 7:30 Eastern. So like maybe 90 minutes, an hour before the open. The gap was basically insignificant. But yeah, so we opened in a large gap higher, but we sort of balanced out. We checked higher and we got, the clear sort of poke and then retest that failed above the MCV poke, the look to the high side. And then we rolled over and we did end up, not very strongly, but we did end up breaking the low, the developing low. And you can see cumulative delta was sort of increasing to the low side at this point as well. And so I was looking at this as basically a rejection of the higher prices, and a weak continuation on the short side. So I didn't have a strong conviction in the short side, but I was willing to take the scalp that I did, which basically was just for half gap, which was this 6160 level right here, this line. I had my final target, I think it was 64, 3 ticks ahead or something like that. And so, yeah, basically, it didn't look good at first. Like, I was watching this orange line here, the RTH VWAP, to hold on the pullback after the extension. So you didn't really respect it. You extended it. This is about 88 to 94. So whatever that is, 6 ticks, a 6-tick extension. So you didn't respect it very cleanly. And so I kind of had set it off like by like this bar or this bar. I was kind of like, it doesn't really look that good, for me to take for even a scalp. It looks like we already fell back into balance. But then you got this nice sequence of this red bar and then this red bar that broke this sort of prior structure here, right? This sort of double local low. And so then on the retracement, you gave a bit of a front run at VWAP, and I did take some heat initially up to here, but my stop was still just above this high, right up there. That's where my stop was, and so I was still more than fine. And yeah, we got the flush lower, which gave me risk off quickly, but then we got the reversion back higher that did end up stopping me out to the tick, before continuing lower and breaking IB low. So I did only get basically a flat on that trade, because I got stopped out to the tick here. But it happens. That trade overall was pretty good, and I was happy with that trade. Until then, this second trade wasn't as good. This second trade was a full stop, still a scalp, so very tight. It's only 8 ticks of risk, so very tight. But this one wasn't as good of a trade. This one was too aggressive on my part. So basically, you had the next impulse move where I just got stopped out on, and you broke IB low, and this was actually a pretty clean break in my eyes. And so I had the thought, at least, that we could go at least down to here to test the full session view up, but potentially continue for even the full gap right down here. That would be the full gap close. And so we broke the IB and we pulled back, and it's kind of hard to see now, but there was a collision in there. I may be able to find it here quickly on the overnight. Give me a second. Okay, honestly, guys, it disappeared. It's not even there on the order flow for some reason. But anyway, there was a big buy collision that came in here. It wasn't huge. It may have only been 30, like the smallest size I have for big trades on the MBO. But there was a collision there that broke and held, and so I got on for the aggressive trade. The problem with this trade was, so I got in here, my risk off. My first contract off wasn't until here. I think it was 56 or 57 right here. And so the problem with that, under this context, which is overall broader balance, is that, well, I need the extension of the developing low, which is this dashed white line, developing low. I need the break / the continuation of the developing low to even get my risk off, which is just too aggressive under the day's context, which was honestly just a mistake on my end. I just didn't really realize it in the moment. And so it was good in the sense that I had risk off ahead of the full session VWAP, but because it was a shallow pullback, like, you would have wanted it in this case ahead of the developing low as well. And so that was a mistake on my end. Like, likely in any case, this trade would have been wrong anyway, because you ended up getting the reversion higher, but a bit aggressive on my end. You could have just been a bit more patient and waited it out. So yeah. I probably won't. I don't think I have the video for the trades. I think I shut down my PC earlier while it was recording, so like the file just got corrupted. So yeah, I'll just end this here. Keep it brief. That's the review for the day. Oh, the P&L for the day was negative 14 ticks. So negative 14 ticks on the micros. That's just negative $14. So small loss. And yeah, so I'll end it there, and we will be back tomorrow morning for the daily prep video. So I will be back then.